Good evening, everybody. It's great to have you all join us here. Um, we're just starting. It's 8:30, and we're just starting. We have just maxed out the number of attendees, so I wouldn't hang up on the call because if you do, there's a good chance you won't get back on. Um, Sorry, I'm just getting messages saying people are still trying to get on, but unfortunately the call is full. However, I will be recording it, so if you've got teams wanting to get on that don't get on, don't worry about it. I will make sure that we've got a recording. It's recording now so that everybody will be able to hear it. Welcome to Laurel Cottage. Welcome to my den, my office. You can see this is a working room. Actually, if you look behind me, you see some of previous chairman's bonus profit share checks up on the wall. All my personal development books, which have helped me to build the kind of business that I've now got. This is my pile of just read books. So you can see that I'm just as committed as everybody else is to becoming the best I can be in this business. Those of you that can hear me, some people are saying they can't see anything. If you can't see anything, then it's down to your machine because I can see clearly what's happening on my other screen here, and that's been buzzed around the internet. So if you can't see anything, it's something to do with your connection. We're really privileged tonight to have Suzanne Barclay on the call. She's one of the Scottish managers in Amanda Hilliard's team. And you'll remember, Suzanne, if you've watched that product launch video that we made when we were up there in Amanda's mansion, when we were sitting around the kitchen table talking about giving tips on how to do a product launch. And while I was up there last, that's the time we actually made that video. I was chatting to Suzanne and she was telling me how she'd stumbled across this brilliant idea of inviting people to a product launch on Facebook. Well, I'd never heard of this before, and I just thought, what a brilliant idea, but how on earth does it work? How can you invite people to a product launch on Facebook, and how does it work? So I got her to tell me about it, and it's such a good idea that I have invited her on here to share with you exactly how she does it this evening. So I'm going to hand right over to Suzanne now. I have to press buttons on screen and a whole host of other things. So, as you know, being a guy, I can only concentrate on one thing at once. So I'm handing over to Suzanne now, unmuting your microphone. So, are you there, Suzanne?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you brilliantly clearly. That's amazing.
Fab.
And also you should be able to share your screen if you like now. There you are. I will
That's it.
mute
Can you see
myself.
it?
Yeah, can see it perfectly. I'm going to hand over to you now, and just give me a shout if you want anything.
Fab. Brilliant. Lovely. Thanks, Andy. My name's Suzanne. I'm a manager with Forever. I've been in the company for about 3 years now. I started off my history as vet nursing and then retrained as a complementary therapist. So this business works really well along with what I do. How I came across the Facebook event was last Christmas. A lot of my customers, because I do an event during the year, a lot of my customers were asking me if I was going to do a Christmas event. At the time, I hadn't planned to do one. For the main reason is I live in the middle of nowhere. I stay about a mile and a half from the town, and it's a single track road, and it's not a very good road. So the minute there's any sign of snow, people don't drive up my way. So what I didn't want to do is I was really busy last year, so I didn't want to spend all the time organising this event for everyone to cancel because it happened to me before. At the same time as all my customers were asking me about this, somebody sent me an invite to an event. I can't remember what it was. It was either Party Light or some sort of charity thing, and it just made me think, well, I wonder if it's possible that I could create an event where all my customers could come to, they could do their Christmas shopping in the comfort of their own home. So I had a wee play about with Facebook, and it was possible. And I was really, really surprised at the amount of my customers that actually were really, really keen on it and came about. So that's really what made me think to do this. So to be honest, it's one of the easiest things I've done. It's a bit time consuming, but it's worth it in the end. I don't want to take away the fact of holding one in your house. I'm not saying to do this instead of doing a proper product launch, because as anyone that's been in the business for any length of time will tell you, the best way to promote our business and products is by speaking to people face to face. So this is just a little add-on extra. If you were lucky enough to live in a normal place, what I do suggest is in having a launch yourself. But if people say no to you, and I only say this when people say no, is then saying, well, luckily for you, I'm having a Facebook event as well. So if you can't make it on the night, that's not a problem, but have a wee look at my Facebook page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk you through step by step how to do it. So what you do is you go log into your Facebook page. I will show you my Christmas one that I've got set up. But I'll take you through all the steps first. So if you've got a pen and paper, take some notes. So from your Facebook page, on the left-hand side, you'll see your button for events. So you go into that. Then when it brings up the page, there's a little plus sign that says create an event. So you go in and you just create an event. The name is whatever you want it to be. I've just put up Aloe Vera Christmas Special because that's just what I've done recently, is I've set up a Christmas page. So you can call it whatever takes your fancy. If you want to come up with something funny and witty, then feel free. It's your page to do what you want. Details, again, just write whatever you want. All of these things can be amended. So even if you do something and think, oh, I've made a wee mistake there, you can always go in and edit it, so don't worry about that at all. So my details for my Christmas one is I've just welcomed people to the Christmas event, shopping in the comfort of their own home. Feel free to browse it. If they've got any questions, I always tell people to PM me, just because I would rather it was that way. That way I'm not clogging up my page with hundreds and hundreds of questions. During October, I've offered a 10% discount for people that have ordered, and they also get a free gift bag if they order in November. And this time I put a wee note to invite their friends and just wish them happy shopping. But you can put anything you want, and as I say, it can always be amended, so don't worry if you could even just put something quick in there just to get you set up. Then where you go on to where, now I always put online. That's really, really important, because when I did my first one, I set it up, and luckily I was dropping off some aloe to one of my customers, and she went, oh, I can't wait to come to your house to see your product launch. And I was like, oh, no, it's online. So be very careful that people do know it's online, and that you've not just set a date and everybody's going to show up to your house and you're going to be sitting in your jammies or something. Set a date, that's the other thing that I made the mistake of, is that I only put it as one day. So I'd set it up for the Sunday, I'd put the date in, I'd put the time from 12 noon till 5 o'clock on the same day. And again, I think that's where the confusion came, and the customer thought she was about to show up at my house. And luckily I quickly changed it, so I don't know how many other people would have appeared at my door that day. So for my Christmas event, I've set it for the 1st of October. Personally, I don't even think about Christmas until November, but I see it on Facebook all the time. All my friends are all doing their Christmas shopping just now. So I thought, well, I better get in there early. So I've set it from the 1st of October. My end day I've put away down in December. So I'm running it for a long time. And what I'm going to do is just wee special offers through the couple of months. Privacy is optional. I tend to either do invitation only, or my friends can invite guests. I don't leave it open so that anybody can see it, because if I'm doing a wee special offer, I can put the price on if I wanted to, and it means that nobody out there can sneak in and see what I'm up to. And then all you do is you create it, and that's simple enough. And then as soon as I've created it, I put a wee welcome saying that it's an online party. I say that as often as I can, because I'm always paranoid again about all these people showing up at my door. Although I don't think they would do it every day for a month, but hey, you never know in Scotland. And again, I always say to PM me any questions, or if they're wanting to place an order, they can just private message me. So once I've set it up, how do I promote it? What I do is I go into invite, and I invite all my friends. I don't normally invite forever people unless it's team that I've asked to see what I'm doing. The easiest way to see how to do it is to go into my page and they can just copy everything. And then I put a wee note for them to invite their friends. So on my main Facebook page and my business Facebook page, every now and again I'll post saying, remember I've got an online event happening, pop over and have a wee look. I try to put a post on my events page roughly once a week. I don't want to treat it like a normal Facebook page. I don't want to put something on there every 5 minutes, just because it'll start to annoy people, and I don't want them to get fed up with my constant forever living stuff popping up on their Facebook page. So I think once a week is enough, just to remind people that you're doing it, and that way they can pop in, and if they want to look at half of the stuff or they want to look at the whole page, they can suit themselves. On the run up to Christmas, I've not started it yet, but I'm going to do a wee Christmas special offer. I think it was last year Forever did like the 12 weeks of Christmas, and every week they did a discount on a special product, or they promoted a special product. So probably I'll start that about middle of November. I might even do it at the start of November, and I'll choose one of the products that's on my list and I'll do a wee special offer for it, and that'll be my weekly reminder that this page is still happening. And then I can also promote that on my business page as well, that for people to come and have a wee look for special offers that are going on. Variations that you can do with it. I've done a product launch, and that was really successful. That was the one that last Christmas. It was more of a product launch I did. This year I've done it more as a Christmas shopping, but you can also do an animal event. I've done a charity one in the past. You could do a beauty event that you're just concentrating on the makeup and the Sonia, or you can do a Mother's Day event. Really, it's your choice. Just have a wee play about with it. What I'll show you when I go onto my page, one of the main things to note is not to worry about lots of people that haven't said they're going, or maybe people have just said maybe. Most people you'll find won't click to say that they're going, but as long as you've invited them, they can still go in and see what you're doing. So you'll tend to find, just the way when you post things on Facebook about Forever, not everybody says they like it, but believe me, they are watching and they do see it all there. So just don't be surprised. I'll just go and let you see my Facebook page so I can show you what the kind of things to put on it. If anybody's got any questions about tonight, feel free to send me a wee message, befriend me on Facebook. I can tag you in on any of my events. My email address is there, and I'm happy to take phone calls or text messages from anybody. Let me just bear with me. I'm not the most technically minded person in the world. Right, so that's my aloe vera Christmas page. I haven't put a picture on yet. You can also put a picture, but as you see, that's my date. So I've got it running from the 1st of October right through to the 7th of December. I've said the 7th of December because I want to have all my orders in place and delivered before all the Christmas craziness starts. And that's just where your welcome notice comes up. But as you can see here, not everyone said that they're coming, but I know from speaking to friends and my family and my customers, people are looking at it and they have seen it. So please, please don't be put off about this bit here. I know a lot of people that have said to me, oh, nobody's coming to it. Don't worry, please, please. So that's just little posts that I've put on. So just to remind everybody that I'm doing my special discount for October. But this is what people will be, you guys will be more interested in. So now that you've created the event, what do you do? What do you write on it? Pretty much what I've done, because of we've got to watch what we say and people are watching us all the time. All I've done is I took the Christmas brochure, I went on to Forever Knowledge, and I copied and pasted everything from the Christmas brochure and put it on my wall. So this is where it takes a little bit of time, because you have to spend the time copying and paste it. I always put a picture, because of the visual people out there. Nobody wants to look at a screen and just see masses and masses of words. A lot of people want to see pictures. So I put a nice wee picture. You get all these pictures from Forever Knowledge. If not, I'm sure somebody in your team or your upline will be able to email them on to you, or feel free to, as I say, befriend me. I can let you log on to my post and you can steal everything if you want. So as you can see, I've just put down everything in the Christmas brochure. I've added a few things on. I put the lip balm, not the lip balm, the lip gloss, because I think Forever made a wee mistake there when they didn't put that in the Christmas brochure, because I know that so many people want that. And every time I talk or take it out in the pub, everybody wants it. And I think it's going to sell really, really well as a Christmas gift this year. And then just anything else you want to put on it, really. The world's your oyster. Just be careful of your wording. If you're going to do one for like animals or something, just make sure that you're not making any claims or anything. You've got the Aloe and Animals leaflet. Just copy everything from that, and then you don't need to worry about trying to make up wording or make anything sound funky. Forever have done all that for you. So I'm quite happy whenever Forever do something, I'm quite happy just to steal all their stuff. But as you can see, it's really easy to just do all of that. Some people in the past, because I've said this to my team, when they're having a product launch, their first ever business launch, I've said to them not to worry if people say no, to create a Facebook page and create an event, so that even though if only 10 people show up to their business launch, they're still able to invite another 100, 150 plus to their Facebook event on here, and that way they're still going to get orders from that. Obviously don't leave it as big a time gap, but I've found it's a really, really good way. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when you do a product launch, some people are so keen to come, but life just gets in the way and they've not been able to. So the chance of just not just dumping them with a brochure, they can interact with you and ask any questions instead of having to phone you. I found it's a really, really good way of doing it. I think that is pretty much all about setting it up. I'll just snip back, make sure I've covered everything. It was a really, really quick one tonight, really for the main reason it's so easy to set up. It's fabulous. You can be sitting doing this as you're watching the TV one night. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Can you hear me, Suzanne?
Yep, I can hear you, Andy.
Great. That was brilliant. We've got a few questions coming through. And
no problem.
If people do have questions, they could ask them in the questions panel. And we can ask you direct and get your view on it.
Yeah. Yep, no problem.
So just a technical question. These products are put on an event page. Can they be copied to another event page? I'm not quite sure what that means, Christina. Perhaps you could clarify. But if you, maybe she's saying, can you copy the visuals to it? But I would have thought that it's easy to open two browser windows and you can copy and paste at will. So you could have several
Yeah,
going on at once.
you can create as many events all to be running at the same time. So if you wanted to create an animal event, a Christmas event, a normal product launch, a beauty one, all to be running at the same time, then you can do that. My only worry about that is people would get fed up.
Yeah,
They're not wanting to be invited to 101 things all at the one time. So personally, what I would do is have a Christmas one. Once Christmas is over, then have maybe a beauty one. Coming up to Mother's Day, have a Mother's Day one. I wouldn't recommend having too many events running at the same time because people they don't have time to look at 101
yeah.
different things. So you really want to just keep it simple.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Along with that, there's a question from Claire Watts saying, can you put too many products on? Should you leave it to a small collection? How many products would be optimal? What would you suggest?
It's really up to yourself and how much time you've got. You could put one on a week, or you could put two or three on a week. I personally find that when I set it up, I put all of my products on all at the one time, and then I just have to put a wee message. Or if I wanted to add another product on as a wee special offer, then I'll add one on. But I tend to, it's just easier for yourself, then you don't forget about it. It's just to, when you're setting it up, just do everything all at once. But that's just myself. It's really up to yourself. It's your baby. You can play with about. You could also always see what works for your customers. You could always do 4 or 5 one week and then add 4 or 5 on another week. But I wanted to give all my customers the chance to browse it, and so they've seen everything, so that I'm not suddenly saying I've got 5 Christmas special offers here, and then next week coming out with another 5 products, and then they'll go, oh man, my sister would have really liked the eyeshadow instead of the lip gloss or something like that. So I like to give everybody all my options. I'll maybe sneakily put little things on, but I think it's better putting them all on at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, whatever you think. You're the one with the experience, so that's why we're on this call, to listen to what you have to say. Um, and getting loads of people saying thank you to you, which is very nice. Obviously, people very appreciative. Now, couple of okay, how do you promote the page? How do you get people onto the page?
Well, once you've created your page, let me see if it'll let me back on. Right. Once you've created your page, just like that, you go into invite. My internet takes a little bit of time.
That's
And
all.
what it does is it comes up with every single person on your friends list. So what I do is I sieve through everybody. See, the ones that are highlighted in pale are people that I've already invited. So all the ones that aren't highlighted are either people that are already in forever. So I've not bothered inviting people that are already in forever because they'll be doing their own. They're not needing to come to my party.
Sure.
So I click on all of them and then send it. And what that does is it sends a message onto everybody's newsfeed to say that there's an event happening, and do you want to go or do you not want to go? And as I said, that doesn't really matter because once they've been invited, that then allows them to have access to go and see what's on my post. Then what I do is I put something on my personal page and my Allo business page, just telling everybody that I'm running an online event, and again pushing it that it is online, so they don't have to worry about coming out on the cold winter day to come up my ridiculous road, that they can sit with a cup of tea and sit and look at all their products. And I keep doing that. I don't just do that once. I'll promote as I post things on my page regularly anyway. Every now and again I'll just put a wee reminder saying, oh, don't forget my, especially maybe on a Sunday. I find that round about between 5 and 6 o'clock at night is a good time to find people on Facebook, and the other really good time is a Sunday. So I tend to try and post something if I can on a Sunday. If not, I'll wait till tea time. just to remind them that there's this online event, pop over and do the Christmas shopping while they're having a cup of tea watching Emmerdale or whatever it is they're watching. Does that answer your
Yeah, no,
question?
that's great. That's great. The do you okay? This one, it's a sort of technical question. Do you put all the pictures in an album and then post them, or do you post them individually as posts within the event?
I post them individually because I want people to read the description of the product.
Yeah.
So you don't really get an album as such with an event. As you see, normally this is where your album would be if you were on a page, but on an event, you don't really get the choice of having an album. So all you would have is just plain pictures, and that's not what I want. I want people to read why my shower gel is so much nicer than everyone else's. So I tend to post it all individually, and that's where the time, this is a really, really quick thing to do, but the time that is involved is copying and pasting all the wording and uploading all your pictures. But to be honest, my Christmas one I think took me about an hour. So when I say it's a lot of time, if you think the sales that you can get from it, an hour's work isn't really that difficult. And I'm not technically minded whatsoever, but I've got all these pictures. They either came from Forever Knowledge or it's pictures that I've seen on other people's posts that I've stolen.
Yeah. I post a lot of these kind of pictures on the
Yeah,
Facebook page, and that's what they're there for people, for people to
yeah,
download and print, because I've pinched them from somewhere else. So, we might as well make it easy for ourselves by recycling them.
yeah. And that's what this business is all about. It's a copying business.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I always go and steal other people's pictures as long as it's correct. I wouldn't go and steal something that maybe had wording on it that I didn't agree with or
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
just
sure.
a plain picture, yeah, steal
Yeah,
away.
yeah, they'll have probably posted it and pinched it in the first place. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, there's all sorts of things coming through here now, and so but the bulk of the questions are about how do people order from you, and how do you take payments, and how do you fulfill the orders?
Well, most of the people that order from me are friends and customers anyway. So most of the time they can either pay me through PayPal or I see them on a regular basis anyway. It's just that they've not had a chance to read through a brochure that I would have to go and hand them out.
Yeah,
So what I always ask people to do is private message me and then I can discuss payment. If it's something, for example, something that I'll sell again, then I'm quite happy to order that in advance and pay for it myself until I get the payment for somebody. But if somebody had to order a Sonia kit from me, which is over £100, then I would ask them to PayPal me the money first. And PayPal's really easy to set up. Um, they just need an email address and you can just get it that way. There's another thing that I've got, it's called Ping It. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, but what
that's
that is
with
they can,
Barclays Bank, I think, isn't it? Ping it. Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and all they do is they can just put the money, it goes straight into my account. I get a wee text message or an email to say that the money's gone in. So and it doesn't cost anything, which is really good. Um, PayPal, yeah, maybe have to pay a slight amount of money, but it saves me getting stuck with a Sonia kit that if the customer, not that anyone's ever cancelled an order with me, it's never happened yet in 3 years, but I wouldn't want to be stuck with a product that I couldn't sell again. If it was lip balms or something like that, I know I can sell them. I'm quite happy to order them in advance, but I can understand why people wouldn't want to. So that's where PayPal, Ping It, and there's hundreds of these things out there. I do have a card machine as well that I can take card payments, but I can't do that over the phone. It's the only problem.
Yeah, PayPal's perfectly good. I mean,
But yeah,
you pay a few percentage points of it, but for the convenience and for the security of it, the certainty that you're getting your money, then it's well
yeah,
worth it, I think. And you're right, you
yeah,
need
definitely.
you need a range of different payment facilities. There's a question here from Vanda Bennett, who she asks, why don't you put prices on each of the individual posts?
I don't put prices on mine because I'm asking people if they want this one. I've opened it that they can invite other people, so it means that more people can see this event, and I don't want to be in competition with anyone else, so I don't put it on that. If I do it, that it's invite only, which means it's private. The only people that can see it are people that I've personally invited.
Okay.
Then I'll put a special offer on. But it's just common courtesy to other business owners that I don't put prices, especially if it's a special offer. If I'm not offering a special offer and I'm offering the book price, then yeah, by all means, put it on. But because like I'm doing at the moment during October, I'm doing a 10% off. So I don't really want to start putting all the prices, and then after October I've got to change it all again.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
tend not to put prices on, but again, that's just for me personally.
So what happens?
Um,
Do people ask you the price by PM?
People PM me, yeah. How much is it? When could I get it? You get all sorts of messages.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, Text messages, because a lot of it's friends, family, and customers. All my customers have got my mobile number, so I even get text messages asking how much things are, and I can just reply to it that way. Um, it's really your choice. If you're happy putting prices on, as long as you put the brochure price and you're not undercutting, then yeah, you're more than welcome to.
I mean, I think that the thing about discounting is that if you're discounting it privately, like your mum, then that's your own business. The people worry about it when you start going onto public forums and start undercutting. And that
Yeah,
this is the beauty of this is that it's a private invitation only forum. So you can do whatever you like, and you can, incentives are really good for customers. They think they're getting something to give them a little bit of discount if they act. I'm sure you give them a discount if you act by this such and such date or whatever. And so I think those kind of incentives, especially for existing customers, are really worthwhile to increase your case credits. So, and I'm just saying that because people are worried about discounting. It's the problem with discounting is when you are publicizing it in front of other people's customers potentially. But when you're
yeah,
doing it privately, just in front of your own, I think it's perfectly legitimate and
yeah.
to be encouraged. Um, I've
But
got
the other good thing about this is you can always edit it. So what you could do is you could invite all of your friends, leave it open for a short time, get all your friends to invite all their friends, and then all you do is you go into edit,
yeah,
um, and then your privacy setting can be changed at any point. So I can suddenly change it to invitation only so that no one else gets to look at it unless I've invited them. So you could leave it public for a short time, and then once everybody's logged in, then start to do your special offers.
yeah.
So nothing's set in stone. Everything can always be changed.
Okay, that's cool. Let me just get my questions window back. I've hidden it. Right, loads of questions. I hope you're okay for time. I've got
Yeah,
people
I've got loads of
suggesting
time.
other payment facilities, SumUp and iZettle. You can use whichever you want. We've had the ordering. Okay, there's a question that several people have asked. You've half answered it, but the other part of the question is, would you give your customer your online shopping link, or would you take the order yourself?
If I'm doing a discount, like for example, I've done my October 10% off, so I can't send them to my shop
Yeah,
because I'm offering a special offer. And as far as I'm aware, you can't change the price on the shop to a 10% off. So that way that people have to actually order it from me. Once October's over, then yeah, I can say to people, there's my online shop. Feel free to order there, or you can order directly from myself. The problem with ordering with the shop as well, if my client or customer, sorry, only stays down the road from me, they'll not want to pay the £5 postage on an eye makeup when I'm putting in my orders. I tend to order twice a month, the start of the month and then roughly about halfway through the month. So I'm ordering every couple of weeks. So they're not wanting to pay, especially if it's Christmas, because they're not in any hurry. It's not going to be till the end of December anyway. So that way they don't have to pay the postage because I'm paying it anyhow.
Yeah.
But if it's for somebody, because a lot of people on my list maybe stay down south and stuff like that, then yeah, it might be easier ordering straight from the shop. But when it comes to special offers, it's just not possible at the moment.
Yeah. That's great. And a few things you've said, and I just want to reiterate to everybody that as far as inviting people to this event, Suzanne said, when I'm speaking to people as well, I tell them about it. So it's not just done on Facebook, it is part of her networking. These people are friends and customers anyway. She said that. That's really important to remember. So she's already got a relationship with many of these people, which she's already building. Some of them will have ordered before, for example. And so, to get them to PM you, it is a much easier process than that. And I totally agree with Suzanne. The more you can do for your customer, the more they will be locked in with their loyalty to you. A couple of things about posting the link to your website, that for the reasons that Suzanne has said, that it's inflexible, but also if you are giving them that service, placing the order for them, even if you place it through your own website, if they live miles away, so it's delivered direct from Forever, then they feel they're getting that personal service, which I think is really important. So how do people place orders? Well, I presume that's just PM you in the conversation that you have. People are saying thank you so much. In fact, people are loving everything about this. Especially, you've got one complaint actually, and that's from somebody called Amanda Hilliard, who who says, "Where's her invite to your?" Event?
She's at the top of my page still to invite.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let me. Okay, so it's all, would you post a link to your online shop? We would have done that. Maybe you could post a link to the magazine too if people want to read. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little tip. If anybody's using PayPal, ask them to send the money via the friends and family channel, and that means you don't have to pay any fees. That's cunning, isn't it?
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, that might be worth having a little look at. That is cunning. Thank you, Jess Cook, for that suggestion. People saying thank you very much, how kind you are to do this, and I agree with that. Do you ever, that's another, do you ever post your retail shop link on a post? I think the answer to that is no. The whole point about this event is it's a networking thing, not an automated thing, and that's why it's so brilliant. Actually, what we haven't said, Suzanne, is the first one that you did, how successful was it?
Very successful, and I think it shocked myself. That's why I've kept doing it. How much was it? I think by the end of it, because what I did is I created it for a day and then changed it. So I ended up doing it for a couple of weeks, and I think it was just the same as what I'd done of a product launch. I think it was about £250.
Okay, so that's an hour's work.
Yeah.
Putting it up, leaving it open for a couple of weeks, and £250 in sales.
Yeah, and that was only for a couple of weeks, and it's amazing because you could hand a brochure out to somebody, but what I've found is that people take the brochure and they'll put it in a drawer somewhere and they forget about it, whereas Facebook, they're on it all the time. Most people are on Facebook at least once a day, because I know that might be somebody's questions. If I've just copied the brochure, why don't I just give them the brochure? But I found that people are using Facebook so much that if I just put the wee reminder about products, and I've also had the comments from some of my customers, and it just goes to show you, who have been drinking gels. They've been drinking the aloe gel for a year with me, And then last Christmas when I did it, they were like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realise you did so many products. And I didn't put everything on my page because I didn't want to overwhelm people. So I only put all the nicey stuff that I would have liked as a Christmas present. And the amount of my own customers that were like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realise you did that. Even though when I've gone and spoke to them, I'm like, oh, our product range is massive, they forget. But when they see it on Facebook, they just absolutely loved it. The feedback I got was brilliant.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Question here, what if your friends are not local? I think we kind of covered that. Here's what I would do if you want the company to deliver, and that is I would go onto your own shop, place an order as if you were them, see what the shipping cost is going to be, and just tell them, and then take the money direct. But what I wouldn't be doing is sending them the link to my shop, because what that can do is just give them another stumbling block. And if they can go to your shop, they can go to anybody's. And I am a big one for making sure that you're giving personal service to people, because that's what makes you different. Here's a question that the first time we've got it. What do you put in your free gift bag? She's obviously read your page very carefully there. What do you put in your free gift bag?
No, that's just you know, the Forever Do the gift bags.
Oh, right, okay.
But they charge, I think it's 150 or something like that for a gift bag. So they're getting their whatever they've ordered plus the little gift bag for free. So that's all that is. Depending on the size of order, if they've ordered quite a lot from me, I normally stick in a couple of aloe lips in there as well. Depends on the size of order. If it's a really big order, then I'll maybe stick, you know, the avocado face soap
Yeah.
as a wee thank you and things in there. But what I'm meaning by the free gift bag is just the red Forever bags. They're absolutely lovely. And I've done that in the past as well, when we had the boxes and things. If they ordered within a certain time, I'd offer them the free packaging with it. And people love freebies.
Yeah.
So even if it is just something little, they love it. They love thinking they're getting something for nothing. And even if it only works out £1.50 for us, they just love it because it's free.
Yeah.
Especially us Scots, we love freebies, eh, Amanda?
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, still a few more questions. Okay, why would you recommend hosting the event as yourself rather than as your business page? I've got an answer for this, but I'd like to hear yours, Suzanne.
Because I've got more friends and family on my personal page than on my business page. Tend to be all the people that are on my business page are on my friend's page as well. So that's why I do it on my own personal page.
Spot on. I would say, as a rule of thumb, that you will get a lot more response from building relationships through your personal page than you would through any business page. Business page is okay for kind of creating a historical trail that's entirely related to your products and business and lifestyle things. And that's for when people come across you for the first time, so they can go and do a bit of research about what you're doing and, you know, what you're like, your nature is. But if you post something via a business page, most of the people who've even liked the page will never get to see it. So I would say always do things through your personal profile. That is the advice that's come from everybody at the retail day. Certainly my advice. Suzanne obviously endorses that. Steph Barnsby was saying exactly that when she did the retail day recently. Charlotte Pridmore, who is the person you will have seen at the big weekend if you were at the Managers Day, who did the testimonial, also at the QLS Day earlier in the year. Charlotte was saying how she'd moved her business from £600 a month as an assistant manager to £6,000 a month in 12 months. And all these people use Facebook a lot, and all of them strongly recommending using your personal profile. Our business is unique in that it's about the personal contact. And if you try and set up a kind of corporate business page, then it will be a lot less effective than networking effectively. Right, let's see. That's somebody using SumUp. You can use a phone. Amanda Hilliard saying she's super proud of you. Well done, Suzanne. And let me see. Yeah, I think we've answered that. These are all stock and ordering questions. Okay, so just in case there's still anybody not clear, so the idea is they're PMing, and through that interaction on personal messaging, they're placing an order directly with you, and then
Yeah.
you're fulfilling the order for them.
Yeah, I normally tell all my customers know anyway. I order at the start of the month and I order about the middle of the month, but I've been in the business a long time, so I know what my customers will want. So when it's a special event like this, I do say to them, I'm putting my order in on such and such a date, so you'll have it by such and such a time. But because it's a Christmas event, they're not in any major hurry for it, so they're quite happy to wait.
Brilliant.
But yeah, that's about it.
How do you tell people about your offers? On the page itself, I presume she means on the event itself.
Yeah,
Or via,
what you do is you just go and write a post.
yeah,
So if I'm going to do a special offer on a lip gloss, I'll just put on order today and get it for whichever price, or get it at 20% discount, 1 day only special offer, something
great.
like that, or 1 week only special offer. It's really just play about with it and see what works.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, just
Um,
for everybody else's benefit, I think doing that kind of thing on your own timeline is perfectly legitimate. If it's in your own personal status and you're saying, any special offer today, end of month offer, or anything like that, I think that's perfectly legitimate. Where you come unstuck is where you put it on other people's or other groups or other,
yeah.
all that kind of thing.
I don't normally put what the special offer is on my own personal page. I normally say, oh, don't forget my aloe party. I've got a special offer running today only. Pop over and see it.
Perfect. Good tip. Very good tip. So that's really good. Promoting people visiting the page as
Yeah,
well.
because I want them to visit my page. I don't want them to look at my personal profile and say, oh, she's got a lip gloss on it, 20% off for today only, because then they don't need to pop over to my events page because I've already written it there. So that's when I put, look, I've got a special offer running this week only. Pop over and see what it is.
Okay, I just want to pick that apart for everybody's benefit because that is really, really canny. Because what she's doing is prompting people who probably haven't yet looked to go and have a look. She's reminding them of the existence of this event without it feeling like she's reminding them. It feels that she's telling them something new that will be in their interest. In fact, she's giving them a prod, but it doesn't feel like that to them. So it doesn't feel that they're being sold. It feels like she's tipping them off about something. That's very canny in the psychology stakes. Question here from Zoe Pope. Do people not get confused about it being called an event, given that it's got a 2-month time period?
No, because it's still an event. Where people did get confused is when I did it for 1 day, and that's when my customers were about to show up at my door. So because I've created it for a long term, and I'm reminding people in that sneaky way that it is always running. So it isn't just that I've just left it open. But no one seems to have got confused. I started this one at the start of October. Fair enough, I've not had a lot of people going to it as yet, but a lot of people are like me and they don't want to think about Christmas till after Guy Fawkes Day. But I expect that's going to go up pretty quickly. But no one seemed to be confused that it's over 2 months, because then they don't feel rushed.
Yeah, I think
I don't like to be sold to. I'm very, very anti being sold to, and I'm certainly very laid back these days. So I don't like to be rushed into making any sort of decisions. So if I've given somebody 2 months, I'm maybe rushing them with special offers, but I'm certainly not rushing them in the time that they can take to process through all my products. And there is a fair few products. I don't want to give somebody a day and then expect them to scroll through and read every single bit that I've posted. Whereas if I've given them a couple of months, they can say, oh, I'll look at a couple of products today, and then maybe when they're sitting having tea the next night, they can sit and have a read through what the other products do. Whereas if you give somebody too short a time scale, they look at it and go, oh, I don't have time to read all this, I'm not going to bother. So I like to give people a decent amount of time so they can just, at their own leisure, just have a wee read through and think, oh, I didn't know they did that.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Just one thing, by the way, I'll add to that as a general background. Christmas sales. Um, it's the reason that it's important to start now is not because most people will buy now, but you need people to be aware of you at the point when they come to decide to buy their Christmas
Yeah,
present. And if they're not, if you're trying to time it later on in the season, and half the people have already bought their Christmas presents or already decided what they're going to buy, and they haven't even considered you. Whereas if you're getting your message in front of them now, then they're more likely to think, I don't have to worry about that. I can go to Suzanne's event, or so it's really important to get your Christmas offering out there now in a non-pushy way, and I think this does that. Now, Tina is telling me, okay, so actually, I've got would you advertise the event on a buy and sell site, for example, to encourage more visitors and new customers? What do you think of that?
mm, I tend not to. Um, I like it that the fact that it is my friends and people that they want to invite. I think that creates a more personal touch. Um,
I
People
agree.
get fed up seeing things everywhere. They get fed up seeing things on all different sites. So I want to keep it that my customers think they're getting something a little bit special. So this is their little bit of special. They've got a special invite. It's just for them. If they want to invite their friends, that's fine. But I do think it just creates a little bit more special, something special around Christmas. But I suppose there's nothing to stop us doing it. Um, but I just, no, I like it to be a bit more personal.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I really do. Now, Suzanne, thank you especially for joining us. You still there,
No
Suzanne?
problem. Yep, I'm still
Yeah.
here.
Because that has been absolutely brilliant. I'm sure everybody's got some fantastic ideas from that. And what I'll do is I will, once we've finished, the machine needs to churn the recording, but I will post the recording of it and probably edit it a bit to get rid of all my ums as much as anything. But I'll edit it and I'll put it on there, and everybody can listen in again. But thank you so much for giving up your time. Thank you so
No
much for
problem at
sharing
all.
your ideas with everybody. The thank yous are just flooding in now, and everybody's really grateful.
Fab.
It's been absolutely brilliant.